It may seem strange to think about Jesus being angry, and even more so to think about the fact that we could learn something from the times that Jesus got angry. Now, perhaps the reason why this seems so strange to us to think about Jesus being angry is due to our tendency to view him only through a modern lens. When we think about anger in our culture, we usually think about someone who is out of control, someone who launches into fits of rage, cursing, being destructive, and seeking vengeance. Well, these are all aspects of anger that our world promotes. So many people struggle to understand how Jesus could have ever been angry. Surely that stands at odds with everything that we know about Jesus. But the truth is that the Bible does not condemn all anger. And indeed, Jesus did become angry on occasion. So it's important for us then to consider the anger of Jesus and the lessons that we can learn from it. First, consider a few occasions of Jesus' anger. In Mark 3, verses 1 through 5, Jesus entered into the synagogue where there was a man with a withered hand. The Pharisees watched this man closely, looking for an opportunity to find an occasion to use this man against Jesus. Well, Jesus challenged their hypocritical thinking with a question that they could not answer. And in their silence, Jesus looked around them with anger, being grieved by the hardness of their hearts. Mark records another occasion for us in Mark 10, verses 13 through 16. The disciples rebuked, which rebuke just means corrective rebuke or censure, and they were calling out those who were bringing little children to the Lord. And when Jesus saw what was taking place, Mark 10:14 tells us he was greatly displeased by this. And the term translated greatly displeased is one that more accurately translated means he was aroused to anger, or he was indignant by this. One of the more well-known instances of Jesus' anger is found in John 2, verses 13 through 17, when during the Passover, Jesus made a whip of cords and drove the money changers out of the temple. Though the word anger is not explicitly used in this context, the actions of Jesus certainly indicate that this was the emotion that he was feeling. Now, in each of these contexts, the two most important questions are why and how. What was it that motivated the Lord to anger? And what did he do about his anger? How did he express that emotion? In Mark 3 and verse 5, it was the hardness of the Pharisees' heart, their hypocrisy that angered Jesus. In Mark 10, it was the disciples' action as gatekeepers and their rejection of the helpless, vulnerable, and powerless that angered Jesus. In John 2, Jesus took exception to the abuse of the Lord's house. We read there in John 2, 16 and 17, "Zeal for your house has eaten me up." Notice that in every case, the Lord handled his anger perfectly. There were no temper tantrums. There were no emotional reactions. He never lost control of himself and went off in a fit of rage. His words and his reactions were always measured and intentional. Even in the case of the money changers in the temple, we find no evidence of the Lord losing control. Now, his actions may have been forceful, they may have been demonstrative, but that does not make it sinful. After all, one does not clear out a large gathering of people and livestock with just a tiny whisper. As in everything, Jesus was perfect, and Jesus was holy in his anger. His was not emotional, but it was judicial. He was the perfect demonstration of Paul's words in Ephesians 4, 26 through 47, where he says, "Be angry, and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil." Folks, it's not sinful to be angry, but it is sinful to be angry with the wrong reasons and to deal with anger in the wrong way. Unlike Cain, who burned with anger because his offering was not accepted, we must be careful to control our anger, because uncontrolled and unresolved anger grows into wrath and bitterness and all manner of sinfulness, Ephesians 4 and verse 32. And so, as we seek to apply the beauty of Jesus to our lives and to exude that beauty to those that we come into contact with, the way that Jesus dealt with his anger is certainly something that we need to consider, because we need to allow ourselves in those times when we too get angry to handle those things in the right way and for the right reasons. Friends, we thank you for joining us for our program today, and may God bless you with a wonderful day.